I've gone ahead and filled in some data into the tables we created in the last movie. Now I want to show you how the database uses what it knows about our tables and their relationships to give us some useful information. First, let me go ahead and take a look at our line items table. I'll right-click on it and choose Select Top 1000 Rows. That'll display all of the data that's in this table. You can see we've got the invoice ID, the line item number, the product ID, and the quantity. And we have a total of 5 line items in our database. Now the first 2 line items appeared on invoice ID number 1, and they were for lines 1 and 2 on that invoice. This first line was an order for 7 bottles of product number 3. The second line was an order for 3 bottles of product number 2. So we have all of this data, but it really doesn't convey any true information to me. For instance, I really want to know who placed the order, and I'd like to know which products they ordered, not just some ID number. I also want to know how much they spent. So in order to get this information out of the database, what we need to do is create a query. Let's go ahead and close this view here. And I'm going to go over here to New Query and press that button. And in this field that opens, I'm just going to right-click and choose Design Query in Editor. That'll bring up this window here that'll allow me to add the tables to my query design. In this case, I'm going to add all of the tables. So I'll just double-click on the Customers table, double-click on Invoices, double-click on Line Items, and double-click on Products. That adds them to the screen behind here. Let's go ahead and say Close. And now I can make this window a little bit bigger. And I'm going to arrange this so that it matches the layout from my original data model. So first we had our customers, then we had the invoices, then we had line items over here, and then finally we had our products. We can rearrange these windows however we want. Make these a little bigger and kind of scoot these around so that they fit. Now we can visualize the different tables and the relationships to those tables. Now let's go ahead and choose the fields that we want to see combined together. From the customers table, I want to see the first name and last name of the customer. From the invoices table, I want to see the invoice ID and the method of payment. From the line items table, I want to see the line item number and the quantity that was ordered of each particular product. And then finally, from the products table, I want to see the oil type. That'll give me the name. And if I look down here at the bottom, I want to see the price of that product as well. Now finally, I want to get some information about how much each line item cost. So let's go ahead and scroll in this middle section over here to the bottom. And in this last section below column, or below the price column, I'm going to type in a formula that says price times quantity. That's going to give me a new line here that'll calculate the value of the quantity of the order times the price of the order. Let's go ahead and change this alias so it has an explicit name here, and I'll call this total. And you can see at the very bottom is all of the code that's being generated that'll gather that view together. Let's go ahead and say OK. And I'll go over here and press the Execute button to run the query. Now I get a new table view here at the bottom that gives me the first and last name of the customer who placed invoice number 1. I can see that she paid with a credit card. Here are the line numbers on that invoice. If I scroll over, I can now see that the quantity of 7 bottles was for the first cold press oil at a price of $12 per bottle and a total of $84 for all 7 bottles. So that's how we can use the features of the database, in this case a query, to reassemble our data tables in any configuration that we might want.